If one person being absent can cancel your raid, you don't actually have a roster. What you're doing is gambling. And in a 2-night raiding guild, or any raiding guild for that matter, that gamble gets expensive fast. One absence turns into comp issues turn into bad pools, and then bad pools turn into frustration. And suddenly, half your raid week is gone before you even get momentum. Today, I want to talk about how to build a roster that survives absence without destroying morale. Because absences are normal, panic isn't. How's it going, guys? I'm Abysmal, and I'm the guild master and raid leader of a 2-night mythic raiding guild in World of Warcraft. This channel is about the behind-the-scenes systems that actually keep raiding guilds alive, not perfect attendance, not hero plays, but planning for reality. And reality is simple. People miss raids. The biggest mindset shift I ever had to make as a GM was this. Absences are not the problem, being unprepared for absences is. Real life will always win. Jobs change, people get sick, stuff happens. Good guilds don't punish that, they design around it. Number 1, your roster size is a design choice, but running exactly 20 players is a choice, and it's a fragile one. An exact 20 roster assumes perfect attendance every week for the whole tier, and that's just not realistic, especially in adult life and for, limited time guilds as well. A roster with 22 to 25 players isn't overstaffed, it's resilient. A bench isn't a failure of leadership, it's a safety net. The problem isn't having a bench, the problem is pretending you don't need one until you do. If a roster only works when everyone shows up, then does it really work? We used to run an exact 20 roster because I didn't want anyone sitting. On paper it sounded fair, in practice it meant every absence felt like an emergency. We weren't planning raids, we were reacting to them. Once we accepted that a slightly larger roster was healthier, raid nights stopped feeling fragile. They didn't become easier, they're just more stable, and stability matters more than comfort. Number 2. A bench only works if it's normalized. Benching feels bad when it's rare, random, unexplained, or used solely as a punishment for poor performance and things along those lines. It feels normal when it's expected. The mistake a lot of guilds make is only benching when something goes wrong. That turns sitting into a punishment instead of a system. When benching is predictable, rotated, communicated, and fair, for example, rotating your bench players in for rekills, for vault and that kind of thing weekly. Players stop taking it personally. They don't think, I'm being singled out, or what did I do wrong? They think this is how it works. Benching should be boring. If it's emotional or it causes drama, the system's broken. Number 3. Role redundancy matters more than class balance. So not all absences are equal. Losing a DPS hurts, and it can definitely stunt progression for a night, but losing a tank or healer can end the night. A lot of guilds over-optimize class balance and under-optimize role coverage. You don't just need 20 good players, you need coverage for critical roles as well. That means backup tanks, extra healers, and people who can flex when needed. In a 2-night guild, or any raiding guild for that matter, flexible players are gold. You're not planning for ideal comps, you're planning for missing people. We had a stretch where losing one healer meant cancelling the raid, not because we lacked players, but because we lacked flexibility. Once we fixed role coverage, absences stopped feeling catastrophic. The raid didn't magically get better, it just stopped falling apart when real life happened. Number 4. Communication is what protects morale. Morale doesn't break because someone gets benched, it breaks because someone is surprised. They get caught off guard, and they're hurt, potentially. Sitting feels awful when it happens without warning. It feels manageable when expectations are set early. Talk about benching before raid night, or even the night before. You should try and lay out your roster at least 24 hours before a raid. Explain how rotations work. So explain that X player will be out for this boss, but they'll be in for the next 3, so they get the vault slot, so on and so forth. Be honest about why decisions are being made. Explain to the player exactly what's happening and why. There's no point hiding that you've benched someone for performance, perhaps, or if it is simply for rotating everyone through the vault. Tell them exactly why, and this will make things so much easier in the future. Silence creates resentment faster than bad news ever will. Clear communication doesn't make everyone happy, but it makes things understandable, and understanding goes a long way. Now, I'm not going to say I've never had someone quit because they were sat once, because that just isn't true. I have had people disengage because they didn't understand why decisions were being made. You don't need perfect wording, you just need consistency. When people trust the system, they tolerate the outcomes they don't love because they don't feel targeted. And number 5, you can't separate roster stability from recruitment. This is the part people don't want to hear. You cannot out-organize a thin roster. No amount of spreadsheets or scheduling fixes a lack of bodies. If recruitment only happens when you're desperate, morale takes a hit because everyone feels the pressure. Healthy guilds recruit even when things are stable, especially when things are stable. Recruitment isn't a reaction, it's maintenance. And the earlier you do it, the less painful it is for everyone involved. So here's the big picture. A good roster doesn't just protect progression, it protects people. It absorbs absences, it removes panic, it keeps raid nights productive even when things aren't perfect. The goal isn't zero absences, the goal is zero chaos when absence happens. If you're trying to design your roster for the ideal world, so perfect attendance, perfect comps, perfect weeks, that world doesn't exist. The guilds that last aren't always the ones with the best players, they're the ones built to handle imperfect weeks without turning them into bad ones. A good roster doesn't just protect progression, it protects your team's energy, it protects morale, and it protects you from having to make panic decisions on raid night. There's nothing worse than walking up to your desk 20 minutes before raid and seeing all of a sudden 2 absent players on your sign-up sheet. And imagine that from your raiders' point of view, and they know you don't have anyone to back up. It can just destroy morale in an instant. If you're a GM, officer, raid leader, let me know in the comments. How many players are on your roster right now, and what breaks first when something is missing? In the next video, we're going deeper into one of the most misunderstood topics of guild leadership, the truth about benching players and why most guilds do it wrong. If benching has ever caused drama in your guild, this one's for you. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you find some useful information you can take away from this video and potentially implement it into your own guild. If you liked the video or you found it somewhat useful, feel free to drop a like or a sub. It helps me out massively. But yes, thanks guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.